So it's been a while, like either like it's too dark or just whatever. Things have happened and I haven't been able to get on to my lives, which I feel bad about. But as you can see, I'm working out. I've actually been exercising every day. So that's pretty exciting. Something switched in my brain, which is great. Because now I'm asking myself questions like, is this really what you want? Do you really want to eat this? Because I think what you really want is to lose weight. And I was like, yeah, I think that is what I want. And then, cool thing that happens is that later on, around the time that I would have started beating myself up for having eaten the thing, I'm like, God, I'm grateful I didn't eat that. I'm so glad I didn't eat that. Ugh, bugs, in my face. Like my nose. Okay, well, not my nose. Um, I'm like so glad that I didn't eat that thing because I would feel so bad about myself right now. I didn't eat it, so I feel good about myself. So progress, right? We've got progress. Um, and I'm thinking about like what led up to that. One of the things that's been happening, luckily, is I've been listening to Eckhart Tolle a lot, The Power of Now, kind of over and over again, sort of the way I was doing with Michael Singer. And I feel like I need to get like at least 20 minutes in there a day to keep it top of mind, keep these ideas top of mind, and keep them, so that I have them there at my disposal. And I have to say, it gets better and better, guys. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But, you do see improvement. And that is great. That is really great. One of the things that I sort of started thinking differently about, like, with Michael Singer, right? Like, I was really, oh God, these bugs. I was really grateful for the whole idea of letting go, the relax and release thing. And of course, he talked about how you have to be in the now. But I didn't quite, well, I got it. I understood. Like, you understand, right? Like, I gotta be in the now. I get it. And I even was trying to be in the now quite a bit. But when I sort of listened to, oh God, Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, I kind of understood it in a different way. Look at that hair. It's great. It's great. That's another reason I haven't been on it, to be honest with you. I'm not happy with the way that I look. And believe it or not, there is a limit for me on how, like, I will come on, and be seen. But no, now, um, so I'm coming on now, it was worse. It was bad before. Anyway, so, so, yeah, so kind of understanding the concept of being now in a different way. Because as Tolle says, like, you can't really understand that with your mind. But one of the things I've kind of understood to a deeper level is how we are not our bodies, we are not our minds, we are not our thoughts, we're not our feelings, we're not any of that. We are just a being, a non-corporeal being who is inhabiting this particular animal body and having experiences, right? Like, I knew that. I knew that. And I have rocks in my sandals. Hang on. All right. But I know it in a different way now, and I'm really working on being situated in the seat of self, right? Which is one of my goals. And that I try to take those goals out and look at them more regularly, but that is, part of that is listening to these books every day. Anyway, so I'm working on you can't perceive yourself, right? You can't perceive, that you're aware, but it's just awareness. It's not like a thing, right? Is it a state? I don't know what it is. Anyway, I am working on not really separating myself from all of this, but kind of separating myself in the sense of like just, Um, just like observing, right? It's a different way for me to get to observing, and it's good. It's really good. It's working for me. So I highly recommend The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Big time. The other thing is that I have started really planning things out. And granted, oh, this is a good one. It's a good one, guys. Listen up to this one. So I started planning out my goals, you know what I mean, and breaking them into, I've got my 3-month goals, I've got my 1-month goals, I've got my weekly goals, which I really have to keep better track of, and then I've got my daily goals, etc., etc. And I have them in my project management software that I use for work, and it's like I go through and I coded them all. Like, this takes a lot of time, this takes a little time, this takes a lot of effort, this takes a little bit of effort. And the biggest one is, this is the priority, this is not the priority. Like, highest priority, high, medium, low, and lowest, right, priority. And I was feeling a little guilty about going through them and writing them all, because I'm like, oh, I'm just avoiding work. But it turns out that when you sit there, this was a big deal. When you sit there and when you're not having like cravings or desires, like you're not confused about what to do, and you sit there and you think logically, okay, these are my highest priorities. I want my highest priorities to be my health, right? So I marked all of those tasks as highest priority. And then, of course, the highest priority stuff at work. And those are the things I'm focusing on. And it's great because before I was like, it would come to like, okay, well, I could go to the gym or I could continue to work. And it's like, I would always choose like, oh, I'll continue to work as a way of not only like, okay, I really need to work on this, I need to get done, but also a way of avoiding health, being healthy, right? A way of avoiding exercise. But now that I've marked it, like, that's my highest priority. My health is my highest priority. Like, it takes precedence, even over work. And to have decided that before I get to the point where I have to decide it. What am I going to do? Before you have to make the choice. Am I going to do A or am I going to do B? If you decide before that which one's the priority, then when the choice comes down to it, you don't have to think about it. And you're not tempted. You know what I mean? And you're just like, this is what I decided. I decided that this was my priority and that's what I'm going to do. And you do it, and it makes things easier. So it took me a little while to get there, but I highly recommend like just listing the things if you're having a similar problem as I do. I think a lot of people do. Like deciding in the moment, am I supposed to do this or am I supposed to do that? Decide beforehand. Like for me, it took me listing things out very minutely, like very minutely. Hang on 1 second. Whew, okay. And then going through it took me a long time, to tell you the truth. It took me a long time of thinking like, oh no, this is probably lower there. No, all these things here are highest priority. Like my health, highest priority. The stuff that's gonna make money. The stuff with work that's gonna make money, so this highest priority. It's a little bit of a bummer because there's other work that I need to do to get us more clients. But currently I need to work. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at the sky. Look at the clouds. You see them? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, pretty. Anyway, so that's something that's really, really helped me in the past. I mean, like week, right? It hasn't been a long time, but also keeping the stuff in front of me. It's always important, I think, to keep the things in front of you so that again they're top of mind, right? Like I listen in the morning, every morning, some point in the morning, whether I'm getting my breakfast ready or whatever. For at least like 20 minutes, I'll listen to Michael Singer or Eckhart Tolle or Louise Hay or Carolyn Meese. These are all really good spiritual teachers, personal development stuff. And if you do that all the time, it really keeps it in there. And it keeps you, like, for me at least, it keeps me turning it in my mind. And every time now that I come up to a challenge like today, I was calling McAfee, the uh, virus protection software people, because I had purchased it the other day, and I was like, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, "You've got an Apple, you don't need it." And I'm like, "You know what? You're right. You're right. I don't know why. I thought I needed this. Like I hadn't. Anyway, that's a long story. That's completely irrelevant. The point is, I wanted to get the money back and cancel the subscription. So I got on the line, and they answered promptly, which was great. I was expecting to be on hold for a longer time, but the guy who answered it, I mean, clearly it was in India or Pakistan or someplace, and he spoke English, but he was very slow in speaking English, and it was clear that he only had maybe he shouldn't be call like an operator for an English speaking thing, but he was very very kind, very sweet, very polite, but just took a long time talking, and also would repeat himself. And I was starting to get a little frustrated. I'm not going to show it to him because it's not his fault. But I was starting to get a little irritated. I was like, oh my God, can we please move on? And then I recognized, you know what? I can't do anything about this. I'm not going to be rude to the guy because he's not doing anything wrong. Not even if he were, I'm not a rude person anyway. Or I try not to be. So, I think this is an opportunity I have here to stop, take a breath. The universe is telling me to chill out and slow down. And that's what I took it as, and I did my best. I can't say I was oh, and that it magically transformed my attitude. It did not, but it was a realization, and it helped. And I think that's the way it goes, you do that again and again and again, and you get better and better and better at it until finally it's just what happens, and you don't get irritated by things, silly things like this poor guy who can't speak English very well and really was trying very hard. um, anyway, so that pretty much what I have to say today. I'm trying to think, was there anything else I wanted to share with you guys? I am losing weight, but I am still around the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And my fat clothes are kind of tight. So I'm not happy with that, but as you see, I'm sweating and working on it. And I'm stopping eating before 4. So I'm kind of sort of intermittent fasting. And the other thing that's helping is planning the meals. And I know this is such obvious advice, right? Everybody tells you make a meal plan for the week. The only responsible type people do that, right? And I am not that. That's not a good thing to say. That's not positive affirmation for me to say at all. But I'm a very responsible individual, bugs. So I wonder how loud I'm talking. I've got earbuds in, and I'm wondering if I'm shouting. People can hear me. Anyway, so yeah, I made a meal plan. I made this dish that was quite delicious, if I do say so myself. It was like a farro salad with tomatoes and cucumbers and bell pepper and what else was that? Red onion. I think that was it. And lemon. It was just lemon was the on it, and it was really good. And I made enough of it, so it has to be the whole week. I had 5 servings of it, and it wasn't oh, I'll go back for more, because when you have it in a big bowl, it's I'll just go back for another scoop, and then you fill up the bowl again, and you're oh God. But that's what I've been doing is eating way too much. So when it's out in portion size like that, it's I'm not gonna open the other ones are for tomorrow and the next day. I can't open those up. So it's been good. I've been eating less and eating healthily. Probably with a healthy parsley. That parsley makes a big difference. Anyway, and then a little bit of feta, but I don't think it needs it. Olives were good too. But anyway, that's probably about it. Those are my my progress that I can report and the things I was doing to accomplish said progress. I hope that helps. Um, and yeah, I think that's it for now. I think that's it for now. All right, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate that even though I'm living at my parents right now, as I save up and well, not save up, but as I work on getting myself my own place. Ooh, bugs. Um, I'm grateful to have a place because if I didn't, I'd be homeless, and that would not be cool. um, and yeah, I'm grateful to have this phone, the ability to talk to you guys. I'm grateful that I own a business and that I am working on it, and it is slowly going forward. Sort of. We need a new client. We need a new client. Need, not a good word. Not a good word, right? Not. It's a negative affirmation. That's scarcity mindset. We want abundance mindset. So I am grateful for all the clients that I am manifesting at this moment. They're here. They're already here with us. I just, have to speak to them. So I'm telling you all these things because I want to remind you guys that you too can always choose to have a grateful evening.